Hi everyone, and thanks for joining our webinar, Organization Administrator Overview. My name is Stephanie Mack. I'm the Digital Marketing and Content Manager here at LodgeLink. Just wanted to go over a few housekeeping items before we get started. As always, we're going to be recording today's session, so we'll send it out with the presentation so that you can refer to it later. Depending on your internet connection, you might experience a little bit of a lag in the presentation, so we just recommend plugging into an Ethernet cable if you're able to. Another thing is we recommend using your computer's audio for the webinar instead of the phone line. If you are dialed in on your phone as well, please hang up so that you can minimize the echo and feedback. We have muted everybody's mic, but if you have any issues, please use the chat window and a moderator will be able to assist you. We also invite you to use the chat to ask any questions, and then we can address them at the end of the webinar. So just a quick agenda as to what we're going to be talking about today. Welcome and introduction. We'll talk about the crew accommodation challenges overall. We'll discuss the LodgeLink Advantage. We'll do the demo walkthrough. We'll talk about organization management and what that means for an organization administrator. We'll look at some different best practices, and then we'll answer any questions that you might have. So we're back here with your customer success team, Carla Jones and Jose Monroy. They are responsible for onboarding customers to the platform and ensuring a positive customer experience. Thank you, Stephanie.
Buenos dias, everybody. Thank you all for joining us.
Let's talk about the challenges that can come with crew accommodation. They can be both time-consuming and expensive. So from an organizational administrator perspective, setting up multiple vendors, receiving multiple invoices, sending credit card authorization forms, avoiding subcontractor markups, the lack of visibility on accommodation spend, locating a guest or a past booking so that you can reconcile your account. These are all areas LodgeLink can help you with. So, LodgeLink's on the grow. We have over 70,000 in room capacity, consisting of hotels and lodges in Canada and the U.S. We currently help over 800 customers with all their accommodations needs. If you have a specific property, please let us know. We're always looking for more partners. We also make it easy to find similar listings by showing you comparable options near the area you're searching for accommodation. With LodgeLink, we support your entire customer journey, so you can search, select, book, stay, pay, and report all under one roof. LodgeLink's customer service team is also available 7 days a week with phone and email coverage from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. The LodgeLink Advantage saves you time and money, increases your efficiency, and provides one convenient invoice. LodgeLink makes searching simple, allows you to compare all your options, provides a convenient dashboard view, offers discounted room rates, and LodgeLink pays the supplier, so no need to worry about setting up payment arrangements. LodgeLink also provides reporting and analytics, so you have better visibility on all your accommodation spend. This diagram illustrates the relationship between the four user types. So you've got the organization administrator, the booking administrator, the booking supervisor, and the guest. Noted in this diagram, you've got the prime contractor and the subcontractors as well. This relates specifically to cost tracking codes, which we will explain later in the presentation. This webinar is focused around the organizational administrator. So this user has full permissions and access to all the organization details and all the reservations. You've got control over organization members and crew lists, and you also manage payments, credit, and also cost tracking codes. What you're seeing now is the dashboard view of the organizational administrator. This will be what you see when you log into your account. Now to Jose for the demo.
Hi everyone, this is Jose, and today I'm going to be taking you through the new LodgeLink platform. And in particular, I'm going to be walking you through the platform from the perspective of an organization administrator. Now, the organization administrator is just one of the 4 different user types available within the new platform. and the organization administrator has the highest level of permissions and accesses in the platform. So let's hop right into it. As you can see, I'm just on the LodgeLink homepage. I'm just going to go ahead and click into my dashboard. Now, for those of you that would have attended one of our previous webinars, you might already be familiar with the dashboard, but for those of you that haven't, the dashboard is essentially your home base. It's where you can access all the different features and tools available in LodgeLink. So anytime you get lost and you don't know where to find something, I always recommend to start at the dashboard and then you can work your way from there. So let's hop right into the cost tracking codes feature. Now, the cost tracking codes is one of the most exciting parts about the new platform. The cost tracking codes allows you to bill and associate specific accommodations to a specific code. Now, a lot of organizations will use things such as PO numbers, AFE numbers, job codes, project numbers, etc. as their cost tracking code. When you are making an accommodation or a reservation, you can use one of these cost tracking codes to bill to, so that at the end of the month, when you're reconciling your accommodation spend, you can associate a specific reservation to a specific cost tracking code. So let's just walk you through what the cost tracking page looks like. On the right-hand side here, I can go ahead and click on Create a Code to create my own cost tracking code. Now, the payment ID number is essentially the job number or the job or the project number. It could be anything that you'd like it to be. It's an open field, so you can feel free to enter anything that works for your organization. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and make up a cost tracking code here. And as well, you can go ahead and nickname your cost tracking code. As well, you have the option to set an expiry date for a cost tracking code. Now, a lot of organizations will use the expiry date when they know that a specific project is going to end, so that at the end of that project date, they will know that no one can book against this code because the code will have expired. So for this example, I'm just going to go ahead and set an expiry here, and just like that. And once I've added in all my details, I can just click on Confirm. And there we go. My cost tracking code is just at the end right here. Now, within cost tracking codes, you can also go ahead and edit the code if you'd like to change the payment ID or the nickname as well. You can deactivate a code for the time being if you'd like, or you can outright just go ahead and click on Delete the cost tracking code. As well, you can go ahead and manage the access to the cost tracking code. Now, you have two options for managing the access. You can either share this code with members of your organization, or you can share this code with members outside of your organization, such as subcontractors. Now, a lot of organizations that have their subcontractors billing their accommodation spend find a lot of value in using these cost codes because the prime contractor can simply share a cost code, and then the subcontractor can then just log into the LodgeLink platform and bill against that code, and thus preventing the subcontractor from having to bill back up to the prime contractor. Essentially, it allows the administrative time and effort to be reduced and makes it a lot simpler for prime contractors to work with subcontractors with regards to their accommodations. If you'd like to add in an internal organization member, you can just go ahead and click on this button here, and you have a list of all the different members within your organization. As well, you can add in an external member by clicking on this button right here. As long as the individual who you're adding outside of your organization is set up with a LodgeLink account, they will have access to the code at the payment options page during the reservation flow. Now, if they don't have a LodgeLink account, feel free to reach out to myself, Jose Monroy, or Carla Jones, and we'd be happy to work with your subcontractors to get them onboarded and get them acquainted with the LodgeLink platform. Within the cost tracking code, you can also make edits and changes to the different individuals that are in the cost code. You can remove members like so. And just like that, you can make edits and update who can see your codes. And finally, if you'd like to take a look at all the bookings that have been booked against a specific code, you can go ahead and click on that button there. And there we go. We see all of the bookings that have been tied to that cost code. So that in a nutshell wraps up cost codes. I'm just going to go ahead and log back into my dashboard here, and I'm going to go ahead and click on organization settings. Now, within the organization settings page, you have the option to edit your company details by clicking into here. And you can make changes such as add in an address, a billing address, and any other additional details down here that you'd like. We recommend for anyone that is new to LodgeLink and creating a brand new account, for being the first one to create a brand new account for your organization, that you go into this page and you add in your company details as soon as possible. As well, you can take a look at the master service agreement here. As I mentioned earlier, cost codes are one of the more powerful features within the LodgeLink platform, but to access a cost tracking code, you do have to submit a credit application for LodgeLink Credit or a LodgeLink Charge account. Whenever you create a cost tracking code, it essentially pulls out of your LodgeLink credit account to book against. If you'd like to submit a credit application, you can go ahead by clicking into this button down here, or you can view your past credit application history here. Now, down at the bottom, as an organization administrator, you have the power to invite people into your organization. So if you have a large group of dispatchers, you can manage their accesses into LodgeLink directly from this page right here. If I would like to add in a new member, I can just go ahead and click here. And assuming that they have a LodgeLink account, I can just add in their email address here. As well, you can toggle the different permissions, as I mentioned, of existing members in your organization by clicking into the edit button here. And you can toggle the permissions down here. Or you can remove members if you'd like by clicking on this X right here. Now I'm just going to go ahead and log back into my dashboard here. And I'm going to click into the Bookings tab. Now, in some cases, when you are making a reservation, you might not have the specific cost tracking code that you'd like to do. Maybe you're not sure about what job number it's being billed up to. If that is the case, you can just go ahead and click on, in this example, I've made a reservation and I've used a temporary PO or temporary cost tracking code just to hold and to create the reservation. As a organization administrator, I can actually go ahead and create new codes and update these temporary POs by clicking into here. And if I click into LodgeLink codes, now that I've added my White Court job code, I'm just going to go and change the temporary PO or the holding account, and I'm going to go change this reservation to this PO right here, or this cost tracking code, I should say. Now that I've done that, I can just go ahead and click continue. And there we go. My payment information for this reservation has been saved. I'm just going to go ahead and log back into my dashboard and walk you through one of the more fascinating features of the platform, which is the crew list. Now, when you are making reservations, in many cases, you might be sending out the same group of crew members to specific jobs. If that is the case and you have a set group of crew members, you can create what is called a crew list, so that when you're making your reservation, you can simply click on the crew members and that will add in all of their preloaded information to your reservation, ultimately saving you time and administrative effort when you're making the reservation. You can add in new crew members by clicking down here and filling out this form. Alternatively, if you are new to LodgeLink and you have a large list of crew members that you'd like to upload, it'd be fairly tedious to have to complete this form for every single crew member. If that is the case, you can go ahead and send us a file with all of your crew members and we can upload your crew list on the back end from your behalf. Now I'm just going to go ahead and log back into my dashboard here. And the final stage is just the account settings. If you want to make any edits to your current account, you can just go ahead and click here and you can change your name, phone number, etc., whatever the case might be. You can make all those edits here. So that, in a nutshell, wraps up the LodgeLink platform from the organization administrator's point of view. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. And
Great, thank you, Jose. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the organization management or the account setup within your organization. So setting up a LodgeLink organization is 4 easy steps. Join now, you create your organization, you apply for credit, and you create your cost tracking codes. Then your company can start booking. These steps are illustrated by the buttons you will find in LodgeLink.com when you're setting up your account. If you need help onboarding an organization, as Jose mentioned, or maybe you want to onboard a subcontracting organization, please contact us and we are happy to schedule a personal demo or a one-on-one phone call. With regard to the individual user setup, there's two easy options depending on what you're trying to do. So if you're trying to share a cost tracking code with a subcontractor, get them to join now so their company is set up and they can see the codes that you have shared with them. The second option from your dashboard under organization settings is add new members. This is ideal for adding new members or new users to your organization. Perhaps you'd like to add an AP contact that will be responsible for the credit applications, or maybe a new booking administrator that just signed up with your company. You can assign permissions when you invite the new users. You can also edit active members from your dashboard once they've created accounts. As Jose mentioned with the crew lists save you time and money. They reduce repetitive entry, and you can create these lists yourself or contact us and we can upload the list for you. Now to review the cost tracking codes. So cost tracking codes determine which company will be paying for the accommodation. If your company is paying, you create the cost tracking code. If another company is paying, they need to invite you to their cost tracking codes. Here are some different approaches that work really well with some customers that we have. So we got one simple bucket. That could be a company-wide travel budget. An example of that code would be 2019 accommodations. You've got the set it and forget it. So these codes are established lists of codes that don't change often. So maybe a division, a branch, or a GL code that you use in accounting. The last type is the dynamic cost controls. So these are custom codes created as needed. It could be for a specific job number, an AFE, or maybe a project name. So think of these before you set up your cost tracking codes and what would be best for your organization. Okay, so the cost tracking codes, they're meant to provide visibility and control over your accommodation spending. Within cost tracking codes, you can edit the code, you can manage access, and you can find bookings related to specific codes. Codes remain active until they expire. For that, you'd have to set an expiry date, as Jose showed you. Or you can make them inactive, which means they're no longer able to be booked against. Or you need to revoke access for specific users by removing them from a code. So we hope you found value in these sessions, and we look forward to helping you with all your accommodations needs. This concludes our presentation for the webinar portion, and we open it up to any suggestions or questions that you might have.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Carla and Jose. So we only have a couple of questions in the chat, but if you have any, please make sure you enter them and we can address those. So the first question is, can I invite a subcontractor to be a member of my organization?
Okay, so yeah, you definitely can. If you invite a subcontractor to be a member of your organization, though, remember that they will have access to all of your cost tracking codes. So if you want a subcontractor to access a specific code only, it's best to get them invited to that code versus invited to your organization.
Great. And if somebody no longer works for my company, how can I make sure that they no longer have access to book using my cost tracking codes?
Okay. So we kind of showed how you can revoke permissions from a cost tracking code. If they're in your organization, so the revoking works for subcontractors, but you can't revoke access from someone within your organization. You'd have to go to your organization settings and edit or delete a specific user from your organization. Once you do that, they'll still be able to log into their LodgeLink account, but they'll no longer have access to your specific organization.
Okay, great. I think that's it for questions, unless anybody has any more they want to enter into the chat. No? Okay. So we'll wrap it up here then. As I mentioned earlier, you're going to receive the follow-up email with the recording for the session so you can review it again or share with a colleague. We appreciate any feedback you have on future topics. Thank you for attending our webinar. We'll be posting the recordings on YouTube as well, and then on our information landing page. And have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.